Hello, ladies. How are you all this morning? It is 7:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time here. You will hear children in the background, I am sure. They are getting ready for their day. How are you all doing? I would love to know. Drop it in the comments. If you are here, we are talking about sugar today. Why you have sugar cravings or that sweet tooth and what we can do about it. One of the things people always ask me is it realistic to eliminate sugar? And the answer is no. And I say that from a healthcare professional standpoint because I am a registered nurse and I'm also a health and life coach. And I help moms release their mom guilt and the judgments around themselves, taking better care of themselves. And the answer, is it realistic to eliminate sugar completely or carbs completely or food groups completely, is no, it's not realistic at all. And it's actually very unhealthy for you to do so. So where does sugar fall into this equation? So first of all, I would love to know, if you're here, do you have sugar cravings? Sorry, I'm just adjusting this a little bit. I definitely have. And I will tell you up front, I am not perfect by any means. There are still days this does get the best of me because #human. It is what it is. So I would love to know, have you experienced sugar cravings? And if it's not a sugar craving, do you have other cravings like the salty side of things or the bitter side of things or comfort food things? All of the above, any is fine. So you are in the right place. I'm just looking at my notes here. You're in the right place. If you're wondering why you keep having these sugar cravings at certain points throughout your day, or maybe it's, like I said, maybe it's not a sugar craving, maybe it's more the comfort food side of things or the saltier side of things. Either way, this is going to go hand in hand, so you can replace the sugar with whatever your craving is that you experience. So if you are having some sort of food cravings throughout your day, if you feel like you are done reinventing this wheel and you just want to figure out like really what's going on and what you can do about it so that you can move forward and become this healthier version of yourself, because we're all business owners here. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, then our customers and our clients will not get the best version of ourselves. And I know that we definitely don't want that. I know I don't want that for my clients. I know you don't want that for your clients or your customers either. So we really have to take care of ourselves. So if you're done reinventing that wheel, you're in the right spot. If you're also ready to really actually figure out what's going on so that you can get unstuck out of your stuck space, if that's how you're feeling. So when it comes to food cravings, there are three main challenges. There could realistically be all kinds of challenges, but the three main ones that come up with sugar is, why do you have these sugar cravings in the first place? What can you actually do about it? And why do they feel so out of control at times? You know, I know there's going to be moments where it feels more manageable than others. So what is going on when it feels more out of control? Okay, so have you ever heard of the concept of polarity? I would love to know if you've heard of that. Drinking my coffee. It's black. I don't have all the extra stuff in it. So this concept of polarity is essentially that everything has an opposite. You know, if something's hot, there has to be a cold. If it's light outside, then the opposite is dark. You know, yin, yang, all the things, male, female, there's all kinds of different polarities essentially. It's really, it is what it is. And it goes the same with sugar and what we're putting into our body. So the reason I'm saying it doesn't really matter if it's a sweet tooth or if it's like a comfort food sort of thing, like the more savory side of things, essentially it is related to one another. And the reason I say that is because if you have sugar cravings, you have to have an opposite of the sweet tooth. So the opposite of these sugar cravings would be the savory side of things. If you think of it in terms of what expands your body or your mindset, then expansive are the things like the carbs, the sugar, alcohol. They're very expansive. And when you have so many of those, or you consume so much of one thing, let's use alcohol for an example. If you consume a lot of alcohol, you start to get kind of floaty minded or kind of spacey. You don't really, your focus isn't always there. Whereas if you have a lot of salt, your blood vessels naturally, they constrict, things get a little bit tighter, your blood pressure goes up. That's why your blood pressure goes up, because it's constrictive. Things contract, okay? So think of it in terms of expansive versus contracted, okay? So if you think of your lifestyle in terms of expansive and contracting, what do you feel like is going on the majority of your day? Are you somebody who's more stressed out? Do you have a lot going on? Do you have a lot of high touch points with people? Are you in management where you're answering to a lot of people? You've got deadlines, things like that? If so, that's more contracting. Just like exercising your body, it's a contractive activity. Any kind of exercise is contractive. It makes you kind of come into yourself and shrink a little bit, although it does have expansive properties to it. But if you are spending most of your day stressed out, anxious, in fear thoughts, worried, then you will crave something to bring you back to your baseline. Just like if you are a happy, bubbly person, like myself, if you're a happy, bubbly person, then you have to have something to bring you back to your baseline. Okay, so if you think of it like a pendulum, you know, it's going to go both ways. So let's imagine over here is the contractive side. So you've got stress, anxiety, fear, all that stuff. And over here is joy, freedom, happiness, bliss, passion, all of this stuff. Okay, so if this pendulum is swinging back and forth, at some point it has to go back the opposite direction because it has so much momentum behind it, it has to swing the other way. So if this side is contractive, also known as the salty savory foods, this side is expansive, also known as the sweet tooth or the sugar cravings, it has to go back and forth. So if you are stressed out, you have to come back to the middle at some point, and you're going to go the other way, and you're going to have so much momentum and force behind it that your cravings will equal the stress level that you had. Okay, so let's say you, like my kids in there, the mornings are usually pretty chaotic, and it just is what it is. That's kids. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Getting people up and out of bed and where they need to go, it's stressful, and it's a lot of anxiety behind it sometimes, and it's just irritating. So naturally, I would want to have something sweeter because it's going to help balance this out. It's going to help bring me back to my baseline. Whereas if I'm really happy and I've had a very good relaxing day, I might crave something saltier or something a little bit more savory. Like I love mashed potatoes. That is my thing. So if it's a really good day, I'm going to crave the savory things because it's going to have to balance itself out. If it's a stressful, high anxiety day, I'm probably going to be craving the sweeter things in life to help balance it out. So if you think of this in terms of the polarity and everything has an opposite, they have to come back and equal each other out at some point. So if you feel like you're having stressful days, if you can think of when do your sugar cravings normally hit you, is it the days that you are stressed out? Is it the days where you're happy, everything's good, you're just chill, everything's fine? Or is it the days where you feel like the shit's hit the fan and you don't know, like it's just like you're a mess? Okay, so it's probably, I would imagine it's going to be more of the stressful days because that is how a lot of people cope, and it makes sense. You have to bring yourself back to your baseline. Okay, the other thing with this polarity is that it doesn't just affect you with stress. So if you are really busy, like most of us in here are as business owners, if you're really busy and you're hustling and bustling all the time, most times your body is really trying to get your attention. I like to explain this to my clients as if your body is like an infant or a toddler, they can't talk yet. They cannot tell you what they need. All they know to do is get your attention by having a meltdown, doing something to get, like my son in there, he's 11 months old. He knows to cry. If he cries, if he makes a certain noise, I will come in there and I will come in faster depending on what the noise is. He knows how to get my attention. It's the same thing for your body. Your body cannot talk to you. It knows to do certain physical symptoms to get your attention. So that's what it does. So if you're really tired and you're constantly you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off all day, what's naturally going to give you more energy? Aside from the coffee, what will give you more energy for a short period of time? Probably something sweet that's really carb loaded, high in sugar. It's going to give you a quick buzz. And essentially it's because your body is, first of all, it's worn out. Second of all, it's been constricted all day because it's a constrictive thing. Running yourself around like that is constrictive. So it wants something more expansive. It wants something to elevate your mood. So maybe it's not the sugar craving. Maybe instead of the food, what would really benefit you is going for a walk, because that's expansive as well. Maybe it's taking a nap, letting your body relax a little bit, because that's really what your body's wanting, is to relax and take a breather, take a break just for a little while, okay? Oops, trying to get my computer to move. So the second challenge around this is that nobody really wants to do it. I mean, sweet foods taste good. I'll be honest with you, they're amazing. And when we eat them, we feel good, right? For a short period of time. I don't know about you, but I know if I eat certain sweet things afterwards, I'm like, why the hell did I do that? I knew this was gonna make me feel like crap. Now I feel bloated, now I'm moody and I'm irritable, and I feel all these things. Why did I do that? So nobody really wants to give it up, and I do not blame you. And I also don't expect you to give up the things that you enjoy in your life. However, if you know something is going to make you feel crappy, why would you keep putting it in your body? You can always find alternatives for things. Always. There's always a better option. And I'm not saying there's not going to be days, like I said, I'm not perfect. I had ice cream. We got apple pie and ice cream the other day, and it was freaking amazing. And that's just life, you know? You can't eliminate things entirely out of your life. That's why I was saying that's realistic, and I'll get more into that in just a second. So what is actually happening in your body when you're eating sugar? That's what I want to look at right now. Why does it feel so good when you eat the sugar, and what's actually going on? So when you eat something that's high in carbs or has a high sugar content, it hits your bloodstream, right? And I don't know about you, if anybody here is diabetic, you can attest to this, but we see it all the time, and all the time with our patients in the hospital, especially on the floor I work on. It's people come in and their blood sugar is completely out of control, because there's 3 places your blood sugar can go when you consume it. It's going to go to your brain, your blood cells. There's another one. I'm put on the spot now. I can't even think of what the third one is. I don't remember. I'll come back to it. But essentially, your body has to have sugar to function. It has to. Your brain has to have sugar to function. That's why when people, when they take insulin and they're at a really crisis level with their blood sugar and it's out of control, we really have to monitor where their blood sugar levels are, because if they get under a certain threshold, it's extremely dangerous. Whereas if it gets really high, it's also very dangerous. Your body does not handle it well. So when you are, sorry, I just had a client message. When you are eating things that are high in carbs or high in sugar, depending on what you're eating, it's going to be regulated in your body a little bit differently. And the reason for that is products containing a lot of sugar are generally, I say generally, very low in fiber, fat, and protein. Okay, so this fiber, fat, and protein those are the things that helps your body regulate your blood sugar balance. And everything comes back to your blood sugar balance, ladies. If you are trying to lose weight, if you are trying to keep your hormones in check, if you're trying to keep your skin clear. A lot of it comes back to your blood sugar balance, stress levels, cortisol levels. Lots of it comes back to your blood sugar balance. So if you're eating things that are really high in sugar, they generally don't have much fiber, fat, or protein. The fiber, fat, and protein are really important because those are the things that slow down how your body absorbs sugar. Okay, they slow down sugar absorption. So if you're eating things that don't have those, of course your blood sugar, your levels are going to spike. And this is where that emotional roller coaster comes in when you're eating really sugary things, or the body roller coaster where you feel really good for a short period of time, and then after you have the thing, so let's imagine you're drinking a cup of coffee from Starbucks and it's got all the stuff in it. It's like a white chocolate macchiato or something like that. Let's imagine you're drinking that, you feel really good for a little bit, and then maybe 30 minutes, an hour later, you come crashing down and now your energy feels like it's at the floor. It's because your sugar has crashed out because it has some fat in it, but it also didn't have fiber or protein, maybe just a little bit, maybe a little protein because of the milk that you had in there, but it doesn't have much. So your blood sugar is out of control. It spiked really high, so you felt good, you were buzzing, and then you crashed, and now you're getting moody, you're irritable, you're tired, you're sluggish, you're foggy-brained. Now you need something to bring you back up. So naturally, what are you going to grab? You're going to grab more sugar because you know that's the fastest way to get your blood sugar back up again, right? It makes sense. You're going to give your body what it needs. And when your blood sugar gets to that low place where it feels like you've hit the floor and you don't know, you're like, what? I don't know why I'm here. Your brain knows why you're there. And it's like, emergency mode. I need more sugar. Give me more sugar. And then you just start to reach for all the things that you know you can shove in your mouth that's going to bring your blood sugar back up. Right? Okay. So, of course it makes sense that when you're at that low spot, you need more sugar. It just makes sense. So, I found my notes. Here's the 3 places that the blood sugar goes. When you're eating these things, it goes to your brain, your blood cells, and your muscles. Those are the places. So if you're constantly eating things high in sugar, high in carbs, if all those receptors are already full of sugar and they literally cannot take in any more, where does the rest of it go? It's gonna go everywhere that you store fat. For some of us women, it's your belly. For some of us, it's our hips. For some of us, our thighs, our arms, wherever it is that you store excess fat. Because when those receptors are full, it has nowhere to go. So that's when your body stores it and it becomes fat. Okay, and I know none of us here want that. We want to take better care of ourselves. We want to be the best version of ourselves. So if we're at a point where we know our body has to have sugar and carbs to function, then why would we keep eating so much of it that we know it's going to turn into fat? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the third challenge around sugar cravings. Sometimes it's just easier to reach for the sugar than to deal with what's really going on in our life. And I have definitely been there. After I had my daughter, she's 4, it was a really stressful time in my life. I was stressed, I was depressed, all the things. My best friend was the refrigerator and scrolling on Pinterest. And it was easier to binge eat and eat all the crap and abuse my body that way than to deal with the rest of the stuff going on in my life, because that felt harder. And I was more comfortable being in my own discomfort and pain and misery than getting my ass off the couch and doing something about it. So I ate all the stuff and I felt like shit, and I kept doing it because that was easier. So if that's you, maybe not the same situation, but if that is you and you can relate to that, what is sugar filling the void of? What is eating filling the void of? What is really behind what you're doing? Okay, because this is one of the things I love to talk to my clients about. When people come to me, it's generally because they want to be healthier. I'm a health and life coach. I specialize in joy and freedom. I help these women find more joy and freedom in their life. And one of the things they want to get rid of is the mom guilt and body shame, and they want to feel more confident. Okay, that's great. But usually they don't know that when they come to me. They're not being real with themselves, and they come to me because they want to lose weight, or they want to have a better relationship with themselves or with their spouse, or they want to start eating healthier. They don't know where to start. That's all great, but that's usually the superficial things. That's the surface level. Once we peel back a few layers and we really see what's going on and we get to that root cause, then we can start dealing with all this stuff that we've been stuffing down and brushing under the rug. We've been shoving it down and ignoring it because we didn't want to deal with it. This is where the stuff really comes up. And this is where, when people start doing this work, the deeper work, all this crap around sugar and food cravings, it goes away because they actually know what's going on and they deal with it instead of pushing it down to deal with it tomorrow. Something I heard a long time ago is what you resist persists. And it makes total sense. If you are constantly shoving down the stuff that's really going on in your life and you're not dealing with it, you are resisting it. And it makes sense that if, for example, if you are struggling with your weight or your health or your body image, it makes sense that you would keep dealing with the similar situation because you keep asking for something, you keep saying what you want, and the universe or God or whatever source greater than you believe in, they're trying to give you what you're asking for. All these situations and the circumstances are moments for you to practice, and every time you're presented with an opportunity to get what you want, you stuff it down and you do what you've been doing. You have this habit of eating all this garbage that makes you feel crappy because that's easier and you're more comfortable with that pain than the discomfort that comes with change. So what is the sugar filling the void of? If you're not sure and you want to have a conversation around this, I would love to have that conversation with you. I'm very easy to talk to. So if you want to have that conversation, I will drop a link below in the comments and you can schedule a 30-minute consultation call with me. It's completely free, no strings attached. We can see really what's going on so that you can step your best foot forward. Okay, so let's talk about some solutions, because I know you guys did not just come here to hear about problems. So solutions, I have a crap ton of solutions for you, but I want to give you guys the ones that I have found the most useful. So let me look through. Okay. And these are probably things you've heard before, but I want you to hear them with a new ear. Yeah, you've heard them before, but take it in and hear this a little bit differently, okay? Number one, I'm going to give you 3 solutions here. Sleep. Why do I deem sleep as one of the most important? Well, I said I'm a registered nurse. I've worked night shifts for 5 years as a nurse. I'm still working night shift. I work 60 plus hours a week for the last 6 weeks, and sleep is one of the most important things that you can do for your body. Like I said earlier, if you are having cravings a lot of the time, it's because your body could be begging for a break. So for me, sleep is one of the biggest components of this, and it's been one of the biggest game changers in my life. So I know this is easier said than done for a lot of us, especially as women. If you're a mom, if you're here, you're an entrepreneur, we try to hustle. We hustle all the time, or maybe you used to. Sometimes sleep doesn't happen. We don't get as much as we could. And of course, if we're not sleeping as much as we could, then we're going to need to refuel our body and give us more energy to keep moving forward, which is where all the sugary drinks come in, or the snacks, or you hit that 3 p.m. slump and then you start giving yourself all the things that you would need. So sleep. Are you actually sleeping? Are you getting the 7 to 8 hours that you need? Or maybe you're different and you don't need that much. Whatever it is for you, are you getting it? Can you practice getting more. If you need more tips on how to have a better sleep hygiene and get more sleep, let me know. I've got all kinds of resources, and we can also have that conversation. Second tip, check your protein. I know I said fiber, fat, and protein help slow down your sugar absorption. However, if you are eating the wrong kind of protein for your specific body type and for your specific needs, then your body will have sweet cravings. I was gonna say sweet cravings. If you're eating too little animal protein, that can lead to massive sweet cravings. Okay, so check your protein. How much protein are you eating? Are you eating enough for your body? And my last one, let me see. Oh, one of my favorites. Low fat versus fat-free foods. Do you ever wonder why when you're eating low fat foods, you eat more of it? It's because it doesn't have as much fat. Like I said, fat, fiber, protein slow down sugar absorption. So if you're anything like I used to be, I would say, oh my gosh, I'm eating the fat-free version of this. That means I can have 2 or 3 servings, and it doesn't have as many calories as the full fat version. So that means I get to eat more of it. Well, if it doesn't have the fiber, fat, or protein, it has more sugar. And your body's not going to absorb that sugar as well as it could if you had the full fat version. So are you one of those people who feels like you are doing well because you're having the low fat version? Most likely, the full fat version is just fine. There's a mentality of this is good, this is bad because it has a lot of fat in it. That's the morality of food. It's one of the things it's one component of an eating disorder. Not that you have an eating disorder, but people who generally have eating disorders, they have one of those traits that there's good versus bad when it comes to food. We bust all that open too when you're a client of mine. We talk all about that. What's good, what makes you bad, what makes you good? Absolutely nothing. It's your mindset. Okay, so what is next? If you enjoyed this conversation and you want to have a consultation call with me, I will drop a link below and we'll talk all about where are your cravings coming from, what do your cravings specifically mean for you, and what can you as the individual do for it. I do not do cookie cutter plans or approaches. Everything I do is 100% customized to my clients. So if you want to have this authentic, deep conversation to really figure out what's going on, then I invite you to schedule a call. It is very painless. If you've ever had a coaching call with somebody, and if you've done that before, you know the expectation is that there's no judgment. It's a very safe container. Anything and everything can be said. And I always tell my people when they come in, as a nurse, I swear by HIPAA. So whatever is said there is safe there and it stays there. Kind of like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So if you want to have a conversation around that, let me know. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. Or if there's something deeper that you feel is coming up and there's something like a root cause coming up and you want to explore that with me as well, I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. If you found value from this video, you can always follow me over at my business page on Facebook. It is at Becca Branham Health. If you are a mom and you want to be in a supportive group or with other like-minded women who are all trying to better themselves or release the mom guilt and the shame when it comes to prioritizing yourself as number one, then I also invite you to my Happy Healthy Mom group here on Facebook. It is my free community where I give all of my special bonuses, gifts, all the things, discounts for working with me and coming into programs. Everything goes to my mom group first. So if you want that support and community, I will drop the link below and you can choose to join me there. Thank you for your time. I will see you guys next week. And if you have any questions that come up for you, please drop them in the comments or feel free to send me a message and I'll answer anything I can to the best of my ability. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.